What's up, everybody? Tony Pizza Guy here, back with Facebook Friday. That's right. Take your questions on Facebook and answer them in a video format. If you do want to get on this episode, upcoming episodes, any episodes in the future, make sure you follow me on Facebook. It is facebook.com/Tony Pizza Guy. Hit that like button, and then you will be a part of Tony Pizza Guy and the Facebook friends and stuff like that. So, and on Facebook, I tend to ask questions, post videos. That's the best way to stay up to date with me is Facebook and Twitter. But facebook.com/Tony Pizza Guy. Let's get right into the questions. Now, if you didn't know, I just got back from vacation. I actually went out to this giant lake and I went boating and drinking all the time. And it was a really, really fun time. I go with my family every year. It happens the week after the 4th of July because it's not that busy and the lake's pretty much open. You go inner tubing, skiing, play Polish horseshoes, all kinds of good stuff. But this question was, did you have a good vacation, and are you still going to do the video where you show us YouTubers you subscribe to? As far as the video goes, yes, I'm going to be doing that video that I have the subscriptions of myself. But as far as my vacation go, it was a blast. It was super fun. It was a great time. The lake was amazing, and it was overall just a really freaking awesome time. I love going with my family. It's a great time. Everybody gets a little too drunk, but that's kind of the thing that happens. It's just families hanging out, having a good time. You go out boating, jet skiing. I actually went jet skiing for the first time. Never been jet skiing. It was really awesome. Took my girlfriend with me, and it was a great trip. I wouldn't take it back for a second. Speaking of going on vacation, the next question was, how awesome was it to take a break from YouTube for a bit? It was pretty good. The only thing that I will say is that I worked my butt off to get at least 2 videos up a day before I did go out of town. And that was a lot of work. It really is. It's a lot of work. You can actually schedule videos to go up at a certain time if you didn't know that, so that when I was gone, I would have consistent content for you guys. It's really good to take a break from YouTube, but YouTube is just one of those things that I really do enjoy. I enjoy making videos. I love doing it 7 days a week. And even if I wasn't getting paid, I would still be making videos. It's just one of those things where I love the interaction with the subscribers and the fans and stuff like that. When I ask a question on Facebook or Twitter, you guys respond. I have a really big audience. I mean, it's not the biggest audience, but I get an instant response when I say something on Twitter and Facebook, and that's some great connection that I love. YouTube is more than just a job for me. It is part of my everyday life. I love it. It's great. I wouldn't change it for anything. Next question, what would you do with $1 million? Now, I heard this from somebody. I can't remember who I actually heard this from, but I thought this was a really fun idea. A lot of people say, I'd buy a house, I'd buy a mansion, I'd do this, I'd do that, I'd do this, invest it, go to the casino, gamble it, buy the house I always wanted, start a family. I don't know. But the fun thing that I heard, and this is a fun idea that I always thought with $1 million, what you do is you give it to a bunch of poor people, and then you see how long it takes for those people to become poor again. I know it's sort of like a messed up thing to do, but when you think about it, I've heard stories. This is a story that I've been told. I've been told that somebody who was a garbage man won the lottery and got $1 million, or more than $1 million probably, because the lottery usually is like, depending on how it is. But anyway, over $1 million, won the lottery, and then what he ended up doing was he ended up getting into partying, gambling, drugs, and all that. Lost all his money, ended up becoming garbage man again. It's a sad thing. I mean, most of the time when people get rich, they don't know how to handle the money, and they just end up getting into bad things, and they end up wasting it. So, just one of those things. It's sort of like a people study. You give money to people that don't have it, see if they can actually make something of themselves, or if they will just end up going back to where they are now. It's kind of like a study. It's a weird thing. I don't think I would really do that, but I heard somebody say that that's what they would do with $1 million, and I thought it was very interesting. What happened to the Squared Circle Button podcast? I really enjoyed listening to it every week. If you don't know, if you're just a new follower or you just never really got into it, I had this podcast called the Squared Circle Button Podcast on squaredcirclebutton.com. It was a very good podcast. I had Breezy was on there, another YouTuber. I had Eric Novak, who works on Action Arcade Wrestling too. And it was a very fun podcast, but we just stopped doing it. I honestly want to bring it back with the people that are on Apartment X right now, the second channel I have, which is the WWE Games Community channel. I want to somehow fit that in there and maybe do it live. But I do like having the podcast go up on iTunes. I think it's a really good idea to have this podcast. I think the podcast needs to be done. I just need to figure out exactly what I need to do. So if you have any suggestions, comments, questions, anything that you think I could make the podcast better, or basically just do what I did, leave it in the comment section below. I want to know your guys' ideas, thoughts, all that good stuff. All right, and our final question. I know this is a little shorter of an episode, but do you think the Shield will be in WWE 2K14? There is no doubt in my mind at all that the Shield will be in WWE 2K14. There's no reason they wouldn't be in the game. They've been around long enough. They need to be in the game. They're a main, huge faction, stable, group, whatever you want to call them, in the WWE right now. Those three guys going to be in the game. Guarantee. Doesn't make sense if they're not. Anyway, guys, I want to know your guys' thoughts on any of the questions that I asked today. Leave them in the comment section below. Hit that like button if you did enjoy this. Make sure you follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/TonyPizzaGuy. And we'll be back next Friday with Facebook Friday. Tony Pizza Guy, frag out.